It's the JT Cho Show! Welcome back to another exciting edition of the JT Show. I'm your host, JT. This is episode 84 of the JT Show. Today's August 10th, 2021. It is JT Tuesdays. Lots to talk about today. We're going to get into some talks about streaming, talking about Overwatch, Death's Door, Apex Season 10, an anime series that I just finished up, and then the show The Boys. So let's just jump right into streaming. Just last week, I've been having some troubles streaming. I don't know why. I took a deep dive into my laptop, my PC, and I had to basically uninstall OBS Studios and reinstall it. And it was a huge mess because my stream was crashing nonstop. But I tweaked it, looked at some stuff on Reddit, which was fantastic to do, and eventually yesterday I streamed for almost 6 straight hours, and I didn't crash once, so I was pretty happy about that. And we played all sorts of different types of games. One game in particular that I want to talk about for sure today is Death's Door. It's this game that came out on Game Pass, and it looks super interesting. It's basically these little crows, the main dude's this little crow, and he has to collect souls by defeating 3 people who won't give up their souls, who are kind of corrupt, and they're kind of fucking up their area. So it's kind of one of those dungeon games where first you have to beat the area, and then you have to beat the dungeon, and then you have to beat the boss. Now, throughout the game, there's creatures that have similar abilities that either evolve or they do different things. So you'll have one enemy that might jump once, but then in the second level he might jump twice, and in the third level he might hesitate and then jump. So it changes it up to keep you honest. There's a lot of crazy boss battles and level battles to where these quote unquote doors open up with enemy spawn waves. And sometimes you have to defeat 3 or 4 waves of enemies with all varieties and different kinds to unlock the next area, drop a ladder down, get a object or something like that. So there's a lot of combat in it. It kind of plays on this overhead angle, kind of like a Legend of Zelda-esque look. And then it's also one of those games where you want to get everything, but you realize that you have to unlock certain abilities and items that you don't have currently at the moment. So you have to go back continually with those new abilities and items, and you have to get those leftover souls so you can unlock your character and basically have the best character that you can possibly have. Now, sometimes with the roll mechanics, you can't really double roll that fast. So in the game, during specific bosses, you really have to time your rolls out. Your dodge / roll, it's essentially a dodge. It can roll through enemy attacks, but you have to time it correctly. So sometimes your combos and your timing, you just gotta do a better job at it. I only found, I think, 3 of the 6 weapons, and if there's only 5, then 5, the umbrella, the hammer, and then the sword you start with. So there's a lot in the game. There's a secret ending in the game, and I'm definitely going to beat that secret ending, but I don't want to do that on stream, just because it's going to be me exploring, and I'm not that exciting of a person. I mean, I get 5 viewers every podcast, but hey, at least I have fun with it. We're definitely getting to 100. I don't care if nobody watches. It's a hobby of mine. I'm still chasing my dreams. With stand-up comedy, let's take a quick interruption. I've been listening to a lot. Of stand-ups on podcasts, and I do take notes. And Originally I said I'd give 5 years to comedy, but most likely during those 5 years, if I get any better at all, that's going to be a 10-year project. It's going to be longer than anticipated because it's not like A, I'm super funny, and B, I'm just such a natural at it. I'm hardly getting any repetitions these days. Um, like I was saying last time, the production company that kind of took over this area hasn't hit me back, and it's super frustrating. And I don't want to be too cringe, but you got to keep grinding. And one of these days I'll be a big boy and I'll move areas again, but not this week, not during the Jackson County Fair week, which I don't know if I'm going to, by the way. I mean, give me a corn dog or an elephant ear sounds really good, but I just don't want to. Hey, sorry. I just don't want to go down. The heat index in Michigan right now is crazy. I golfed this morning. It was 72, but it felt like 80 something already. The humidity, which is bearing down. I made some really good putts. I was one putting for about 4 or 5 holes this morning. Kind of fell apart in the last 4 holes, but ended up below a 50. But it's just like every time I golf, I just have like one or two bad holes. I had this drive today that hugged the left line, but it didn't curve too much, but it just got lost in the first cut, and I think that's like one of the worst things that happen in golf. Because you shoot it over a hill, never saw it again. I don't know what happened to it. Probably a bird picked it up and flew away with it. I don't know. Never happened, but I had to take a drop. So I got a 7 on a par 5 when I really should have got a par. It's a 500-yard par 4, a par 5. It's a very long hole. But yeah, golf today was fun. Got the basketball hoop up after golf, which was pretty sick. Only took me 30 minutes to put together, and then I got some shit for it and put it off to the side, so it's not in my driveway, but it overhangs from the driveway. So now I got me a nice little 10-foot hoop that I can just shoot shots at and shit like that. So it's all about getting that exercise. There's one thing that I can say that I have been doing other than stand-up comedy. It's been exercising, running, biking. Did 30 miles the other day for fun on the bike. Rode down this nice trail. It's a 15-mile trail to the next town. Stopped, took a picture, rode my bike back, and my dad was like, "Did you ride your bike?" It's like, "How far was that?" And I was like, 15 miles, and I gotta go back. He's like, "You're crazy." But, I still eat like shit every now and then. I'm not drinking pop, but, energy drinks aren't far behind. My hair is fucking terrible. Anyways, but, once I drop a few more pounds and really get to where I want to, that's when I'll start lifting and find that gym. But, that's just a quick update for that. But what I've basically been doing is streaming. I've been streaming a lot. I've been really enjoying it. A new game added to the rotation was Overwatch. Overwatch 2 is coming out. They're going to have some PvE in it, which is going to be really cool this year, or when it comes out. Overwatch right now is a little broken if you want to be an attack person, because everybody wants to be an attack person. So usually when I play, I'm just like support, which isn't like a big deal because I still get Ks, but it just sucks sometimes because you want to go pew pew, but you're like heal. But you still go pew pew when you're the support. But it'd be nice to have a attack primary thing, But I crush with support. If you remember ever seeing me play Shinobi Strikers on stream, usually with the heal character, he does have a super mash button. So it's Y for your heavy attack, and your medics can break a defense with a heavy attack, so that's super chill. But Overwatch, there's tons of new characters in that game that I haven't played in such a long time, so that's why it's kind of fresh. It's kind of nice to play. So I've been really enjoying that for sure. New season came out starting last week, Apex Season 10. Really excited for that. Ranked arenas, which is new. A new legend called Seer, whose abilities are really nice, kind of like a upgraded Bloodhound. His passive is called Heartseeker, So you can aim down your sight of your scope, and you don't even have to have like a gun, but it's like you hear the heartbeats like dong 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 when like people are moving and stuff. So you can like hear heartbeats. His tactical is called Focus of Attention. Kind of shoots like if you imagine like a tunnel that a car goes through. It shoots this like kind of pixelated tunnel with like little lines connecting them, like you're connecting the constellation stars in the sky. But it kind of looks really neat. And you can it's kind of like a flash grenade. It breaks up people's ability to heal, so if you know someone's hiding behind the like wall and hitting a heal, you can hit them with it and it stops their motion for that. Does 10 damage, and then it highlights them on the map. I believe it shows their health too. And then his ultimate, it's I think it's called Exhibit. It's like a big dome that opens up, and it shows you people's footprints in it and their health and how far they are. So it's a pretty gnarly new character. They have a revamped World's Edge map, which isn't too different. But you know, they took out train yard, and they've been, you know, rebuilding it and stuff like that. So the very first full week was all World's Edge. It'll be nice when they add another map into the rotation, just because when you play any map for too long, it kind of gets to you. Ranked, I can tell you right now, is tough for arenas. We played 5 games last night and only got 2 wins out of those 5 games, so you have to do 10 to qualify. So basically, you need to do another 5, but when you lose 2 of 5, you don't want to play another 5. You don't want to go 4 for 10, you know? Hopefully we can go 5 for 5 and finish 7 to 10, but realistically, I'd settle for 5 for 10. Way better than 4 for 10. But there's a new weapon this season for Season 10 of Apex. It's called Rampage. It's a light machine gun. Man, I'm all sunburned. I might have to put some aloe on my face. Anyways, light machine gun. If you take a thermal grenade, you can put it in it and speed it, because it's kind of like a dum 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 dum. Like it kind of has like that tum 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 tum, kind of like a Mark 19 sounds, but like tum 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 tum. But so when you put the rapid fire thing in, like the thermal grenade, it spins it up faster. So it's like it makes it a higher rate of fire, if you're gonna put some official terminology on it. But you know, I enjoy that gun. Cut likes to use it kind of like almost like a marksman rifle, but I just want to blast people in the face with it. The care package weapons are the Triple Take, the Kraber, the Spitty. The Prowler is no longer a weapon in the crate, doesn't have the hop up for it, and it's pretty broken right now. So the first 2 things to get patched are going to be Seer, because his abilities, he can just like wreck with them, and they got to, you know, take some damage off the Prowler, because the Prowler's slapping people right now. The Alternator's also a care package weapon, which is new. So, well, it's not new, like it's not a new weapon, but you know, they took the Prowler out, they put the Alternator in, put the Spitty in. You miss the Spitty. You really do miss the Spitty a lot. Seeing it be a red crate gun, it's different. It's super different. Just the other night, though, someone picked up a gold Rampage, which is the new weapon. So that was cool to see. Never saw that until last night. Shout out to Cut. A little bit of jealousy happened here during Apex Season 10. He got heirloom shards. So we've been playing for 2+ years almost, I think. And he got heirloom shards, which means he got the boxing gloves for the character Montekia, which is the robot Pathfinder. So, you know, damn, I didn't get him, which is crazy. I wish I would have, but, you know, not everybody can be as lucky as Cut. But so far, Apex Season 10, you know, I already bought the Battle Pass for it. I already got most of the challenges done for Week 1. It's going to be a grind. So go head on over to jtofjville.com for all my links. You can go to twitch.tv/jtofjville, Twitter jtofjville, YouTube Jake Taylor 2008. But there's all these things you can do to watch my stream, which will be on after I upload this episode to the internet. Anime-wise, My Hero took a pause this week, so that kind of sucked. One Piece, fire, no spoilers. But I did get a anime suggested to me from a friend called Erased. So this is a 12 episode series. If you don't feel like listening to these spoilers, I'm not going to spoil the whole series, but I'm going to give you like the synopsis of the first episode and how I felt about the series. But if you don't want any spoilers, then hey, it was nice seeing you on the JT Show. But this anime called Erased follows this guy. He's 29 years old, works at a pizza place. He has this ability where if he goes past a certain situation and then time resets, then he kind of goes back in time to try to figure out what is going wrong in the area that he's looking at. And then he has to then correct it because like that's the reason why his power is what it is. So in the first episode, you see him driving by like this truck. Then he flashes back and he's like, oh, what's going on? And it was the truck. The driver was knocked out, was headed right for a little kid, and he like had to like pretty much like, you know, drive his little moped right up to the truck and pull the wheel over, and he got injured, but he was fine. And he's a hero. So that's kind of how it starts out, but then like it takes this huge plot twist. Instead of going back like usually in the same day or, you know, how many seconds it usually is before, it takes him back to when he was like a 12-year-old kid. And he has to solve the death of the classmate that disappeared. Now, complaints about the series, about episode 3, I'm like, it's got to be this person. Like, there's no way it ain't. This serial murderer kind of gives you, without like a detective and like an ending, kind of gives you like a Conan the Detective-esque type of anime. But the story's original, and the entire time, like, it's a 29-year-old kid in his own body of a, you know, 12-year-old boy. So sometimes when he's interacting with like adults and shit, they're like, how the fuck did like this kid's like, something's off about this kid. But, you know, he's not 12, he's 29. So, you know, that's one of those things where if you stayed like that forever, you could probably be a billionaire. You know, like, oh, I went back, like right now I'm 31. If I went back to 12, I'd be like, dad. And he'd be like, what? I'd be like, dad. But I'd be like, hey, invest in these right now. Invest in these companies. Insider trading. But Tesla. But yeah, there's the make this thing called TikTok. Anyways, but yeah, it's kind of a cool concept. It's 12 episodes. It's one single season anime. And the ending, I sort of like and sort of don't like. Not my show. I didn't write it. I can't be too critical. But I mean, the ending to me, 3.5 stars out of 5. It was good, cool concept. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 for the anime. The ending, 3.5. But pretty cool. Pretty cool relationship between like the characters. Like, you know, how you kind of get like from the first episode, you kind of get a tease of some characters, and then you like, you know, throughout the show, like, you know, things change because, you know, if you save the life of somebody, you're gonna alter history. So, at the end of the day, 4 out of 5 for the episode series. Solid recommendation. Erased. It's on Netflix. Check it out. Rick and Morty. They've been rolling pretty deep. They've been rolling pretty fire for this season. Lil Dicky as well. I'm behind on those 2 shows, but another show that I started and finished seasons 1 and 2 is The Boys. Now, if you're joining me back, you're like, hey, I don't want any spoilers for The Boys. Well, hey, it was nice seeing you on the JT show. But I'm not like again. I'm not. Like, if you saw the last one, I said some stuff about it. But The Boys, if you haven't heard, it's a show. It's a very realistic show. It's basically a show where if superheroes were owned by corporations, what kind of superheroes they would be. You start out the first episode, you meet the main characters, you get the plot, you know why it's called The Boys. But after the first episode, you're kind of like, whoa, dude, this is super wild. And then you kind of get hooked into this like really deep conspiracy theory plot where the people who worship the best 7 superheroes in the United States, you know, who can do no wrong. Well, now there's a group of normal people who want to expose, you know, the lies and the scrutiny, and, you know, just because you're a hero doesn't mean like you're perfect, and like they're actually doing all this crazy shit that you guys don't know about. And what's crazy about the show is like it's very realistic to like, you know, what happened to somebody if they got shot with laser eyes, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, super strength. It's like very brutal, very gory, very adult themed show. But I like it a lot. I plowed through the first 2 seasons. It took me 2 weeks to watch everything. Not that hard to watch 16 episodes in 2 weeks, but you know, I got other shit going on. But The Boys on Netflix, I highly recommend. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. 4.3 out of 5. If I start rating shows from now on, which I like doing, I think I'm gonna start with a scale for 20. So if I had to rank the anime Erased out of 20, I'd give it a 14. The Boys, I'd give it a 16 out of 20. So I like a 20 scale. You don't have to use points. The 1 through 5 scale, it's like if it's a 2, it sucks. If it's a 3, it's mediocre. If it's 4, it's okay, and a 5 is fire. I feel like with a 20 scale, you kind of get like 15 through 18 really good, 18 through 20 excellent, you know, 10 through 15 okay, 5 through 10, and then 1 through 5 like not even worth it. You know what I'm saying? But we'll figure that out for sure. Other than that, though, it's NBA Summer League, and Cade Cunningham had, I believe, 12 points in his opener, which isn't bad. There's going to be a lot of development this year for the Pistons, so I'm pretty excited for that. No new shows for stand-up, unfortunately, so, you know, I'm failing at being a comedian right now because I haven't been practicing on stage. But I have been writing. I came to a realization that I will have to keep writing, but I'm going to have to keep writing some scripts. Like, I'm going to have to write, like, some funny shorts and just send them out to people. And even if they throw them in the trash, at least I'm trying. So hopefully somebody picks up one of these things and are like, yeah, this is pretty good material, and pass it along the line and whatever. But I got to start grinding more, you know? I got to pump it up to the next level. Other than that, though, there's no guest this week. I like to keep these light and short because it's just me talking up here. I'll be streaming on twitch.tv/JTofJville shortly after this is uploaded, so go check that out. But other than that, it's been a great time talking to you all. I hope everyone's okay. Hope everyone's doing well. Drop a comment, say hi, let me know what you're thinking about, what you want me to talk about, any questions that you have about anything like that, any recommendations for TV series that you have. But other than that, though, thanks for watching the JT Show. I'm your host, JT, sending out Captain Slog. Y'all stay